Hello, beautiful ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you wonder about that strange title, stick around to the end. I'm going to give you a special message about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness, which has never before happened. So stick around. But first, we are starting with Angelina Jordan singing Unchained Melody. I believe she's about 17 years old in this one. Here we go.
Here tonight that want to honor this cause. One of them is international star Angelina Jordan. She has come all the way from Los Angeles.
Already an international star at age 17. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Orchestra, by the way, is called Cork, K-O-R-K. And if you know that one, I guess it's a pretty famous, well-known orchestra, so you may know it. This song always makes me cry, so I'll warn you in advance.
My darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time.
We have to go back and see that start again. Look how gorgeous she is in that beautiful gown and her hair all put up. Oh my goodness, she looks so beautiful. Let's hear her begin again so we can catch the whole gist.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. And time goes by so slowly. In time do so much. You still I need you.
Okay, we got to hear that again. Wasn't that gorgeous the way she did that? She held it so long, and we're just in anticipation saying, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? And there it was, where she kind of flights all over the place. By the way, like this video and like hers later. I always put it in the notes. And also please subscribe so you can see what else I'm doing. Let's hear that again.
In time, do so much. You still I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me.
I mean, she's so heartfelt with it. Don't you feel that? Like you feel like she needs his love, right? Holy moly.
Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Yeah, lonely rivers side, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming up. Wait for me. Oh, my.
We're going to see that part again. So heartfelt, so heartfelt. Let's go back just a little bit.
Riverside, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming up. Wait for me. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your time. Lonely I need that's
My. Wow. Wow. It was totally different. She totally reimagined that whole ending there in a totally different way. We have to hear that again. And so wonderful, so heartfelt. And then it seems like she's just singing, like in that end part, it seems like she's just singing whatever sounds her heart is making. Do you see? Do you get what I'm saying? Comment if you get what I'm saying, like, and tell me, do you feel that too? And do you feel the raw emotion she has? Oh my, let's see. A little bit more.
I need that
Unbelievable. I'm telling you something. I could not have come up with that ending to that song in a million years. Not in a million years. My goodness. How amazing was that? Oh. Thank you, Angelina Jordan. Hopefully you'll someday see my reactions, and really appreciate your beautiful singing and your creative heart. You always make it your own. You'd never do it the way somebody else did it. So great. Okay, so my goodness. Let's see. And I have my scale, which is 1 to 10, which is 1 being very third dimensional: fear, pain, sadness, anger, suffering, scarcity, and 10 being very fifth dimensional: love, joy, peace, bliss, abundance, and all of that stuff. Okay, so let's see. This is a tough one. I mean, it's talking about love, so that brings it up there, and it's a beautiful song about love. Isn't it a beautiful song? And there's a longing for that being, we've all felt that. Haven't we felt that longing for that one we love? And whether we lost that love through we went away, or we went on a trip, or who knows what this is going on. It seems like maybe the writer was perhaps a singer that was on the road a lot, and so he wasn't seeing his loved one or something. If she, I'm talking about the original singers. So, but we feel it even, or when something breaks up, right? When, for whatever reason, but we can still remember how beautiful it once was, So there's a longing there for this beautiful love that she apparently has with this one. And so the love is so high vibrational, but then the longing, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's also very third dimensional, because in the other realm, in the higher realms, we don't have to long for anything or anybody. There are times when we have that one that we love, and it's so great and so wonderful, and times we don't. We're doing other things, and that's so great and that's so wonderful. So there's never that sort of attached longing for the person. So this is a tough one called So Beautiful. We're not talking about how beautiful the song is, because I love this song, but I think we're going, in terms of how much it pulls us toward fifth dimension versus third dimension, I'm going like a 7.5, because of the sort of a little bit of a sadness in this longing, for the person, which is human. It's beautiful, but it's just, a little more third dimensional or whatever. So fabulous, fabulous. And what is my message for today? My fifth dimensional messages is what are or were the Georgia Guidestones. By the way, I hope you stick around for these messages, because this is an historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness for the entire planet, which has never, ever, ever happened. Not in all known history, okay? So for an entire population to make the shift all at once. So this is pretty amazing. And by all at once, there are a few waves of it, but pretty much in eternal time, that's all at once. So I hope you do stick around for my messages and go back and watch the other messages in the other videos. You can see what the message is in the notes of each video. So what are or were the Georgia Guidestones? Let's see. I first heard about these Georgia Guidestones, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And that was a very interesting thing that I was hearing about. And I was like, this is kind of interesting, because it was apparently had been inscribed on these big stones, these big monolithic kind of stones, think like Stonehenge, had been inscribed kind of a saying of what should be done for the earth to be a wonderful place, according to whomever wrote it. Now, I've subsequently learned that not only was it inscribed on there in one language, it was 8 different languages, 8 of the world's most well-known, for instance, languages. And it was like several of these stones. It wasn't just one stone. So it was like a Stonehenge kind of thing. And this had been done in the past, probably since the 1900s. I don't know exactly when, but it was sometime in the 1900s that this was done. And one gentleman, people started hypothesizing, who is writing this? Who is saying this? And one gentleman did take responsibility for it and say it was him and him alone, which was a little interesting, because for you to get these stones and put them in Georgia and carve them and all that, this would have been a mammoth job. This would not seem to be like one little guy job. But I'm going to now read to you the stones. Hang on a minute. I'm going to bring over the because I want to read you what it said on these stones. Okay, so I'm going to read you this in reverse order for a particular reason, and you'll understand it when I get there. So, first of all, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. That sounds like a pretty good thing, doesn't it? Advising people not to be a cancer on the earth and to allow nature to do its thing. Sounds pretty good. I like that. I can go with that. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Prize truth, beauty, and love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Wow, that's pretty profound. I really like that one too. I'll stick with that. So far, I'm liking these Guidestones. Balance personal rights with social duties. Balance personal rights with social duties. Yes, I can understand that too. I could do that. I mean, I think it's important to look out for society as well as for yourself. So I can go with that. Okay, let all nations rule internally, resolving external difficulties in a world court. Okay, I really like that. I kind of like the idea of everybody ruling themselves, and if there's any problems, you can go to some kind of an kind of a higher court that can help you dissolve it. Though I don't know if I'd want it to be a court. I might want it to be more like a mediating service. I think that's a little better. But anyway, I'm okay with that. Okay, so the next one. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Oh, this is very good. This is very much sounding like what we're trying to do here, right? Isn't it sounding like what we're trying to do? So I'm liking that also. So that's really good. Okay. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Rule passion, faith, and tradition, and all things with tempered reason. So have reason when it comes to your passion or your faith or your tradition, and everything have reason. This is very sensible too. I'm liking it so far. Whoever wrote this, I think, is doing a great job. I really do so far. Unite humanity with a living new language. Well, I know that back in the day, with the Tower of Babylon was when we began getting all these whole different languages, and before that, there was a kind of universal language, which was more or less of a psychic kind of language. So I know that for us to have a universal language probably would be good, especially if it's that psychic kind of language. So I'm okay with that one too. I don't think we should throw away our languages, but I'm okay with having a kind of a universal, maybe a psychic language. I'm so far thinking this sounds very fifth dimensional, doesn't it? Well, let's check out the next one. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. It's getting a little iffy here now. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. What does that mean, guide reproduction wisely? I mean, are you going to oversee our reproduction? Are you going to oversee improving diversity? Are you going to pick and choose that you want to have certain kinds of people born and not have certain kinds of people born? That sounded a little fishy to me. This is really, this one, I'm really not down with this one. I'm really not down with this guiding people's reproduction and trying to send them in a direction of whatever you consider diversity be. I think that's been happening, hasn't it? They're trying to send us in a direction of certain kinds of people are more valuable than certain others, which are the bad guys nowadays. So that sounded a little fishy. But so far, though, all the rest of them have been good. So, okay, I can hang tight on that one. Let me see what the next one is. This is the last one, by the way. Maintain humanity under 500. What? Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature? What? 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 Okay, wait a minute. I'm just a little confused. Maybe they left off 3 zeros here, right? Because 500 million, we have 8 billion. What did they plan to happen to the other 7.5 billion of us? What did they plan? What did they think we're going to do with 7.5 billion people? I think we have more like a closing on 8.5 billion even. So maybe even almost 8 billion people. What? Oh my, this is really looking dirty. This is really looking, now all of a sudden the whole thing crashed down, and this is looking really dirty. Can you imagine it? There's a group of people that want to bring the population of the earth down to getting rid of 7.5 billion up to 8 billion of us. And they're so dogmatic about it that they will actually write it in 8 different languages on these stones. And they're so bringing it out in the open that they'll write it in 8 different languages on these stones and put them right out in the open in Georgia for everybody to see. And they're trying to lure us into this by saying all this other good stuff we kind of think is good, right? And now they hit us with the zinger, right? But don't forget, we're going to kill or take out of the picture. I don't know about kill, but we're going to take out of the picture 7.5 to 8 billion of you. But that's okay. Don't worry. The other 500 million are going to be okay. You're going to love it. What? And doesn't that like sound very strange when you think of what just happened with the COVID-19 and that it was made in a lab in China, as we understand, and the vaccine and all the people that are having serious problems now from that. Doesn't this all sound a little bit funky and a little bit strange? So once I saw this and I started doing a little research, I started understanding that people out there who are doing the research and checking out who actually made this and so forth, there is a belief that this was made by the top money families, what we call the rich elites, what we might call the banksters, basically by the people that run our world, our planet behind the scenes. And that some spokesperson for them in the 1900s said, let's go right out in the open and say, this is what we're going to do. And by the way, this is a very interesting thing because it's understood by some of those darker individuals, or they believe that if they tell all of humanity what they're going to do and then do it, then they are actually following the law of free will, like we've agreed to it because they told us. In other words, they put a lot of the terrible things they're going to do into movies. And then when it comes true down the line, such there was one about a similar thing to COVID-19. Okay, there was a movie about that first. So if they tell us about it in advance, in some movie or in this way or whatever, then they are actually following the laws of free will. So they think, so they say in their own heads, right? They're not breaking the universal law of free will according to them. Now, I think that, the divine would take exception to that and not necessarily buy that excuse, but so far it seems like they got away with a lot of it. So was this actually done by those individuals? Well, I know there are people who've done a lot of research on it, so I'm going to send you to your internets. By the way, you got to look beyond all the people trying to tell you that that's all a conspiracy, THEORY, right? And that, none of that is ever true, right? That anybody would write this, anybody of power would ever write this who wants to have 7.5 billion to 8 billion of us off the planet. Nobody would ever write that if they were of power. Must be just one whack job, right? Well, interestingly enough, had one whack job, right? Quote unquote, that did this, right? To all that money and all that entire thought into it in 8 different languages and all these huge stones and flies them in there, whatever he does, and puts them up and, all just one guy, right? One lone warrior. So interestingly enough, we had another lone warrior, allegedly, that said, you know what? Up yours and around the corner and bombed the thing to the ground, like literally blasted it to the ground. And if you go on Wikipedia, you'll see that it was a lone warrior who did this. Well, who really did it? Who actually really did it? As we understand it, yes, of course, it was what we call the white hats. It was the people who said, you know what? We know what your agenda is. We're working to stop your agenda. In fact, we are stopping your agenda. And guess what? We're going to bomb the SHIT out of this piece of crap you put on that mountain. I think it was on a mountain. I assume it was. And they bombed the hell out of it. And now Wikipedia tells us, again, it was a lone person who put it up and a lone person who got a plane with a bomb and dropped the bomb on it. How does an individual get a plane that's able to drop a bomb on like that? I mean, just the insanity of it, I mean, and a bomb that will just blast it to crap, So why do I mention this in terms of your motion from the third dimensional consciousness to the fifth dimensional consciousness? Because basically it was like gotten rid of. Like, you told us what you were going to do, and here's our answer. We're bombing it to crap, and you're not going to do it. And everything else you've been trying to do, we're stopping you over and over and over again. Even your crapping document, or whatever you want to call that, your doctrine, right? Put right there in front of us. It's going away and it's bombed to crap. And that's the same way that it's going for all the terrible things that they've been trying to do to us. They are not going to happen. They are not going to succeed. And they are being stopped every step of the way. So that should make you very happy. And meanwhile, we are free to move up in consciousness as we desire, as we wish, without all of this, without them stopping us. I mean, they'll keep trying. We know that. But they're not going to stop us. And I think that was one big, powerful message. Okay, beloved ones, I'm sending you a beautiful fifth dimensional energy, the love, the joy, the bliss, the fun, the play, the ease, the abundance, the freedom. Totally opposite those Georgia Guidestones. Here it comes now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.